The night I caught her the first time, I told myself forgiveness was stronger than rage. I convinced myself love could cover betrayal. I sat across from her at our kitchen table, hands trembling as she admitted the affair, and I said the words I thought made me noble. I forgive you. But I didn't realize forgiveness without change is just slow self-destruction. Months later, I would learn the truth. She hadn't stopped. She had simply become better at hiding it. At first, things seemed different. After her confession, she cooked my favorite meals, left little notes in my jacket pocket, and reached for my hand at random moments like she used to when we were dating. I wanted to believe her efforts were real, that she regretted everything. So, I convinced myself we were rebuilding. But love is blind until suspicion cracks it open. It started small. She began locking her phone, something she had never done before. If I asked who was texting, she'd smile and say, "Just work stuff, nothing important." She stayed late at the office more often, claiming deadlines and last-minute meetings. I wanted to trust her, but my stomach twisted every time she brushed off my questions. One night, I couldn't sleep. She was in the shower, and her phone lit up on the nightstand. The screen showed a preview. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow." My chest tightened. My hand hovered over the phone, but I froze. I told myself, if I open it, I'm the untrusting husband again. If I don't, maybe I can still believe her. I didn't look. Not that night. The unease grew like mold in the walls, quiet, hidden, but poisonous. She laughed at her phone more often than she laughed at my jokes. She changed the password on her laptop. The intimacy we'd begun to rebuild started to evaporate. When I touched her, she'd pull away, claiming she was tired. One Friday evening, she told me she had a team dinner after work. I decided not to ask questions. Instead, I drove to the restaurant she mentioned, parked across the street, and waited. My hands shook on the steering wheel, sweat beading at the back of my neck as minutes stretched into hours. Finally, she walked out, not with her coworkers, but with a man I'd never seen before. He leaned down, kissed her cheek, and she smiled the smile I hadn't seen directed at me in months. Something inside me went quiet. Not the explosive anger I expected, not even heartbreak, just silence. A cold, steady realization that I had been a fool twice. When she came home that night, I pretended nothing was wrong. She kicked off her heels, humming lightly as if the lie wasn't painted all over her face. "How was dinner?" I asked, voice even. "Good," she said too quickly, avoiding my eyes. "Just the usual talk about projects." I nodded, forcing a smile. "Glad you had fun." Her relief was almost insulting. She didn't see it. How I was watching every word, every twitch of her expression. She didn't know that I knew. The next morning, I woke before her. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the wedding photo hanging on the wall. We looked so young in it, so sure. I wondered if the man she'd been with last night had ever seen that smile, or if she saved it just for him now. When she finally came down, hair messy, wearing my old t-shirt, she looked like the woman I married. But I couldn't unsee what I saw the night before. "Do you still love me?" I asked suddenly. She blinked, caught off guard. "Of course I do. Why would you even ask that?" I studied her face, every flicker of emotion. She was good at lying now. Too good. For weeks, I carried the knowledge like a stone in my chest. I didn't confront her, not right away. Instead, I observed. I became a quiet detective in my own home. She slipped out for grocery runs that lasted 2 hours. She came back with only a carton of milk. She took calls in the backyard, her voice low, laughter spilling in ways it hadn't with me for months. Every detail was another nail in the coffin of my patience. The breaking point came one Sunday afternoon. She told me she was going to see her mother. An hour later, I drove past a cafe downtown. Through the window, I saw her. Not with her mother. With him. They sat close, heads nearly touching, her hand resting on his knee under the table. She looked free, alive. And it hit me. She had already left our marriage. Her body just hadn't packed up and gone yet. That night, I didn't wait for her excuses. When she walked in, I was sitting on the couch, phone in hand, the photo I snapped of her with him glowing on the screen. She froze. Her bag slipped from her shoulder. "I can explain." "No," I interrupted, my voice calm, too calm. Not this time. Her mouth opened, closed. It's not what it looks like. I laughed bitterly. That line again? I forgave you once. I rebuilt my trust from rubble. And you smashed it all over again. Tears welled in her eyes, but I felt nothing. No pity, no ache. Just finality. Pack your things, I said. You don't live here anymore. She begged. She cried. She swore it was a mistake, that she loved me, that she didn't want to lose everything we had. But I'd already lost it the first time. And this second betrayal was the burial. When she realized I wouldn't bend, her tears turned sharp. You'll regret this, she snapped. You can't just throw me out. I didn't throw you out, I said, standing tall. You walked out long ago. Tonight, I'm just locking the door behind you. As the front door slammed shut, the silence that followed wasn't empty. It was peaceful. For the first time in months, I felt air in my lungs. I forgave my wife the first time she cheated, because I thought love demanded it. But when she did it again, I stopped playing nice. Forgiveness without change is a fool's game. And I'm done playing.